Hi guys, this is part 2 of my series Authentication for your Ionic 2 apps. In the first part, we saw how to build a backend for our application. We also configured API endpoints in that part. Now in this part, we'll see how to write a front-end application using Ionic 2 framework. This application will call those REST endpoints to get data from the backend. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll open up my console and then also another important thing I need to say is that Ionic has come out with a new release of the Ionic 2 beta, guys. It was released on March 1st. You can read the changelogs for more details on it. So please don't forget to update your Ionic CLI, because the components are no more present in Ionic framework / Ionic directory, and they are now moved to a new location called Ionic-Angular. If you just update your Ionic CLI, then it will get created automatically. When you Ionic start, when you give this command, it will get created automatically to that location, and you need not change it somewhere else. If not, you could just update that location in package.json and then run an npm install again. That would take care of it. Ionic start. It's the detailed instructions are given in the changelog. You can follow that. Ionic start front-end REST. I hope part 1 was useful to you guys. The thing is that there are many backend providers already available on the internet, like ready-made providers like Firebase and Auth0, etc. for authentication. And you just need to write your Ionic application or any other front-end framework applications, and then make a get request or post request, make the REST API calls from there to the backend, and you could have data available seamlessly. But I wanted it to take it right down to the root level. That's why the first part covered how to write your own REST API, how to write your own backend stuff using Node, Express and Mongo, and then use that stuff. You run that server on your computer, and then create a front-end application, and using that front-end application you could call those REST API endpoints. The advantage of this is that you would have complete control over your code. You would know every nook and cranny of the code you have written. The second thing is that you can just host your backend to one of the hosting platforms, which I guess would be a cheaper thing than buying a ready-made provider, because as the scale of the application increases, I guess having your own code, having written each and every part of your own backend would be a more valuable asset to you rather than renting from a provider. But you could go for the providers. The providers provide a lot of options as well. It's one less thing to worry about if you just choose a provider and use their backend services. So yeah, that's one advantage and one disadvantage of having your own backend. It's taking a bit long. Maybe I'll just pause this recording, guys, and then resume it so that you'll have a seamless video instead of waiting. Yeah, it's done, guys. So let's just go ahead and open up this project. In our editor, we'll be using brackets. Okay, resource backend. I guess I'll just open up the front-end REST. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so inside the app folder, as usual, we'll have the entire code of the application. Yeah, so we have the home page inside pages, and we have the files here, as you can see. We'll just run it once to see if it works. Yeah, it goes fine. So yeah, that's it. Now let's start writing our code. Okay, the first thing we are going to do is we'll just create a front page, that is the login page actually. I'm going to edit home.html. I don't know why it's responding too slow, guys. Okay, we'll remove all this. And then this will be username and Ion input ng model. So I'll give you the name as user creds dot name. Okay, then we'll make another thing. Oh no, we'll make another item. Ion item, Ion label, password. Okay, then Ion model equal to, and then this would be user creds dot password. This would be type equal to password, and that would be type equal to text. Okay, so we have two things, and then we need a button. We'll have two buttons. Button click equal to login user creds, and then this will be a login button. Another button would be a sign up button. Sign up. Okay, so first we'll work with login. I'm just going to home.js. We need a login method here, so let me just constructor this dot login user. I need to export those, right? This dot user creds equal to name comma password. Yeah, now I got this, and then user will have this dot login user. This I'll send it to the authenticate method. I'll write another service for that user Okay, now this .authenticate user will be a service inside some other file. I'll create that file first. I'll name it as auth service.js. okay, so this is a service file. We'll write a service which will call the authenticate endpoint in our backend. First of all, import injectable inject from Angular to core, import HTTP from Angular to HTTP, and we also need headers, HTTP comma headers from Angular to HTTP, and then we'll write the thing at injectable export class or service, and then static get parameters, return HTTP. Okay, this dot, no, not this, we'll write a constructor HTTP, this dot HTTP equal to HTTP. Yeah, we are now initialized and we can use this inside any of our methods. Okay, so first we'll write 4 helper methods. The 4 helper methods are store user credentials, use credentials, destroy user credentials, and load user credentials. As I said in part 1, what we are going to do is we are going to send a request and then we'll receive back a token as a response, right? So we'll store the token in the local host, in the local storage of the browser, so that whenever we make an whenever we make a request to the backend again, we can use that token, pass it along. The reason why we are storing it in local storage is that even if other services wanted to use the token, it could do so easily just by calling it from local storage, right? So that's the purpose of this. I think first we'll write the login method, so that and we'll come back to those 4 helper methods. So first I'll write the login user, our new user, and not new user, returning user, and this would be having first of all I'll make creds equal to name plus user dot name plus and password equal to user dot password. Okay, now I have given it in the URL form. I converted our thing into the URL form. Next thing we'll do is we'll create the headers, where we need to tell the backend, right, this is of the form URL encoded, because in the backend we gave in the body parser as body parser dot app dot use body parser dot URL encoded, right? So we are giving it like this here, where headers equal to new headers, and then we'll use this headers dot append content type. This would be, what would it be, xxx something, I guess. It would be, usually it will start with the application slash xxx form slash URL encoded. Yeah, this is the thing, I guess. Success. I have a feeling I'm making, no, sorry, this is not xxx, this is x and www. Yeah, sorry guys. Content type application xww for URL encoder. Okay, now that we got the headers ready, we'll make the actual request. The actual request, yeah, many of the guys who watched my first Ionic simple create a simple application video told me that I am using a set timeout function to delay to give it a delay so that the async call will get completed. And many of them asked the same question: what if the call completes before 5 seconds, or what if the call takes more than 5 seconds? We need to perform an action based on the completion of that call, async function or async call. So what to do there? So to those guys I'm saying, we could just use a good old the promise here, thing here. Here I'll show you how to use the promise in Angular 2, Ionic 2, sorry. Basically both are same anyway. Resolve, I'll return it. Return new promise resolve. Okay, I'm creating a new promise and then I'm resolving it. I'm writing a function inside it. This dot http dot post http this is my URL endpoint. Actually this localhost colon 3333, all those you write it in a constants file, store it separately, and then use that constant file dot URL / authenticate here. That would be the easiest way, optimal way to do this, because as your application grows larger you'll have a lot of endpoints, right? So you can't just keep writing the URL here, and whenever you need to make a change here, you need to then update all the other URLs here wherever there it is and wherever it's present. So the ideal way is to write it in separately in a constants file as base URL, and the authenticate means authenticate URL. You just need to export where, and you need to write that file data inside it, and using the you can call that file here and then use the data from there here. That would be the optimal way. So localhost authenticate. Now I need to pass the user creds, right? Creds, and then headers. Okay, now I'll subscribe to this. It will return an observable obviously, and this would be data. Okay, now it will either return success equal to true or success equal to false, right? So I could just use that success part of the returned data to manipulate. So if data.json dot success, then I'll resolve it as true, else resolve it as false. Okay, now I guess you guys would have understood what I have done here. I have just created a promise and I'm returning that promise to the call function. If the authentication is true and if it's valid, and if the user is valid, it will resolve it to true, and if it's not, it will resolve it to false. Now this login method is ready. Actually what we need to do is it will not only have a success, it will also have a token. We need to store that token in the local storage, as I said earlier. So we'll write 4 helper functions for that. The first one I'll call it as store user credentials, and this will receive a token as input, and window.localStorage.set item, I'll set it along with my name. It will be the token. Okay, then I'll write one more thing. This dot is logged in equal to false. This dot is auth token, to have our token equal to null. Okay, so then I'll use credentials. This dot use credentials token. I'm just calling another function which I'm going to write now. Use credentials, and this would be, it will receive token as thing, and this will set this dot is logged in to true, and this dot is auth token to the token which we have. And then I'll write two more methods. One is load user credentials. This would be it don't have any input, it's just loading, right? So window dot local storage dot get item Raja. Sorry, there's no space here. And then I'll store that item. I'll return it here to a local variable token, and then use credentials to store that. Sorry, this dot use credentials of token. Okay. Now I'll write one more method, destroy user credentials. This is to be called when the user logs out. Destroy user credentials. This dot is logged in equal to false. This dot auth token equal to null, and window dot local storage dot clear. Yeah, now we have 4 helper functions, and first of all, if this is success, we'll use one of them, store user credentials. This dot store user credentials of data.json token. Yeah, so let's go ahead and see if this is working, guys. I think we have included everything. Injectable inject HTTP headers. No, we didn't. Inject service here, right? Import auth service from dot auth service. Yeah, now I'll just add it as a provider here. Providers auth service, and then this will have a get parameters, return auth service constructor. I'll make use of that. Auth service this dot service go to auth service. Yeah, no, this won't be this dot authenticate. This would be this dot service dot authenticate, and that name we have as authenticate, right? This will be authenticate. Okay, now what we have done is we have created a simple form in the HTML file, and once the user clicks on login button, it will take the data from the form and pass it on to a function in the service called authenticate. What this function will do is take it, convert it into a URL encoded form, and then add headers to it and pass it along in a request. This request itself is inside a promise. So once the request is done, we'll return a promise to the called function, and based on what the value is returned, we'll just say no. Okay, we could just write a dot then here, right? Then because it returns a promise, so I think you guys would get it. What shall we do with the return data? It will be either true or false. So if it's true, we need to do something. If it's false, we need to do something. We'll create another page maybe. We'll create a user page. This will be when the user logs in, and we'll have 3 files inside it as well: user page.html, user page.js, and user page.scss. Okay, Now in the user page.html, let's write we'll just copy it from there, navbar, and here I'll just write ion content h2 you are logged in. Okay, and in JS we need to write something, right? Import page from Ionic Angular, and yeah, that's it. At page template URL build pages user page.html, and there would be no providers obviously, and then export class user page. This will have a this doesn't need to have anything, since we are just we need that template file HTML, that's all when we log in, right? So this will import that here. Import user page from dot/user page, and then we'll need a nav controller to navigate to that page. So we'll just make a nav controller, and then that needs to be included here. Return auth service nav controller. Okay, yeah, now this can be if the data is success, if true, if data this .nav push user page, right? Yeah, that's it. So if it's successful, this will push here. I mean, this will move to the next user page.html user page component. So we'll just run this and see if it works. Oh, this is not this .login, it's just login, guys, because those two are interconnected. I don't need to use this. Okay, another error 280. Okay, forgot to give the close that. Okay, let's see, another error 290. Okay, I didn't close the class. Yeah, now no errors, it goes fine. So we'll just run the backend first. Backend, I have it in cd auth demo Ionic authentication. Node server.js. Yeah, Mongo is on, server is connected, and we have this here. So let's try if this works. Let's see if this works. Localhost we created a user last time, right? It was our test user, test123. Yeah, see, now it works fine. If you know, let me show you one other thing as well. Actually, this is really for me, because I thought that I would have made some typos or something somewhere, and it will I didn't expect it to work on the first try. If you see, the local storage has our value Raja and the key associated with it. This key is the value, if you remember, it was returned from the backend. It returned the JSON token when we call the authenticate function after validating the user. This token is stored in the local storage now, and then we can use this token to make authorized requests from this application seamlessly to interact with the backend. This is the simplest form of authentication, guys. Now you see how we made effective use of that backend API and then made a call to that API, got the token, and then showed a page you're logged in or something like that. Now there's one more service there. We have a thing called add user, right? Last time we added a user using that. We'll wire up that also using the sign up thing. So I'll show you that next. So we have user page, we have a home page. We'll create one more sign up page, sign up, and this will have all three as well: sign up .html, sign up.js, sign up.scss. Okay. Now sign up.html will almost be similar to home.html, right? So you just copy paste that here and remove one button. One is enough. Okay, and this button will be register. And instead of this, it will be register new credentials. This also will change it to new. Sorry, not view, it's new. Okay, this will be sign up, and this would be register. Okay. Now we have a HTML file for that. Let's create a JS file. This too would be much similar to this one, I guess. Just copy paste it and then edit it thereafter. Okay, we need these two. We need auth service. Do we need it? Yes, we need an auth service so that we could write something there and the auth service and then call it here. We won't need the user page, obviously. Obviously we won't need the user page. We'll just remove that. And then providers, we need auth service nav controller. Okay, this is new credentials, and then this dot service, auth service. Okay, everything is right. This is register. This dot service dot add user dot thing. Yeah, we'll come back to this later. Okay, so we'll just go to auth service and create a add user method. Add user. So this too will have where creds. Yeah, it should have where creds, right? So why don't we just copy paste this entire thing? And then instead of this alone will change add user, and headers would be the same. And if data.json.success, then this we need not store anywhere. Resolve true. Okay, else resolve false. Yeah, we have added a add user method, and then in the sign up we'll just if data is true. Okay, I'll show you something new. I'll show you an alert. Okay, alert. If data is true, then alert. Sorry, the way we create alert is where alert in Ionic 2 is alert.create title success, and then we can have a subtitle user created, and then buttons Yeah, that's it. Now this alert will exist, and this alert needs to be shown, right? So this dot nav dot push, no, not push, it's present alert. Okay, so let's see if this works. This is running fine. This also running fine. Let's just go ahead and click on sign up. Nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? Maybe we'll have an error here. Context.signup is not a function. Yeah, this is sign up, right? Not register. Sign up. Once again, what's the problem? Still context.signup is not a function. Why now it's function, right? I don't know, I have given it as register here only, so this should also be register. And the button is originally in home. Oh, here I didn't create a sign up. Oh, that's possible. That's easy. Sign up. We just need to this dot nav dot push sign up. Sorry, sign up. Okay. Before that, we need to import that component. Import sign up. Oh, why am I? Sign up from sign up / sign up. Okay, so I'll just yeah. Oh, I think I have done everything, and this would be sign up, right? Sign up. Okay, let's see. Cannot find module auth service is not. Yeah, obviously you can't find it because it's not there. Home. Yeah, now let's click on sign up and you get a new screen register. I'll give a new user, any user 123, and we'll click on register and hope everything goes fine. Now I get an error. What's the error? Set nav is not a function. Why is this not a function? This .nav.present alert. Oh, this is alert. Where alert, right? This alert. We didn't use the variable name properly. Now let's see if it goes fine. Just sign up, and then first user 123. See, now it goes fine. Success, user created. Now I'll just open up and show it to you so that I could also have a confirmation whether the user was successfully created. Where is my RoboMongo? RoboMongo is a useful tool, guys, as I said in my previous video. It has helped me out a lot in playing with MongoDB, obviously. Collections in users. See, we have the first user and the hashed version of the password. So in our application now, what we have seen so far is we have created we have done the sign up part, that is registering a user, adding a new user to our backend, and we could also authenticate the use in a secure way using JWT tokens in our application. This is how we do authentication in Ionic 2 apps. Now before we go, I'll just quickly wire up the logout function as well so that you can have a taste of it as well. This logout is simple. We just need to call one destroy user credentials. This dot destroy user credentials. Okay. What this dot user credentials, and then in user page will have this, right? User page. Oh, I need to import everything. I'll do it quickly. Import auth service from home auth service. Okay. Export. No, I need a provider. Providers auth service. Usually the best practice is to write the service file inside a separate folder. You have a folder called pages, right? Similarly, you should create a separate folder called services and then write that service file inside. Since this is a simple demo, I'm just writing it inside one of the pages directory itself. But you know, as an application goes large, I hope you will understand what I'm trying to say here. Static get parameters, return auth service. Okay, I'll write a constructor. Once again, the reason I'm typing out most of the code is that so that people watching this video will be able to follow along with me, guys. I could have just, you know, instead of copy and pasting this code and then explaining it line by line, I think this would be a more clearer approach, as you know, people could type along with me, along with this video, and learn it themselves as, you know, as I proceed. So we'll just call auth service. This dot service equal to auth service. Okay, now we have auth service. What we need to do is log out, right? So we'll just also, because after logging out we need to move the user back to the sign up page, right? So nav controller, here also nav controller, and auth service this dot nav equal to nav controller. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now we need to call the logout function. We'll just use this function logout. This dot service dot, come on, logout, and then this dot nav dot push, this dot nav dot push home page. So I need to import home page as well. Import home page from home. Okay, now we get it, right? So I just need to have one more button here that will invoke my logout. Okay, so now let's see if it works. Test user, or we'll just use the user we created just now. First user 123, login, and then logout. Why isn't it working? Cannot read property push of undefined. I have defined it, right? Let's see. Sign up user page.js. This dot nav equal to nav controller. No, I haven't. I need to return it here, right? Okay, first user user 123, login, and then logout. Yeah, it works fine, right? So so now you have a secure way of connecting to the database, getting a token from the database so that you can use it for your future requests. And then you have a logout, wherein, see, logout works. I'll just show an example. You don't have a key or value in local storage as of now, right? So when I first log in, I have the key value here, right? So if I log out, it will get erased. So we are not storing anything on the browser when we exit the application. And we also have a sign up method that will sign up, that we could use to sign up a new user. And that's the end of part 2, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed creating it. Yeah, there is a vulnerability here, guys. You might have noticed that once you're logged in, you could go back to the and then okay, so we need to fix this, right? So yeah, there is a simple fix for this, guys. And the thing is, if you notice in app.js, they will set a root page, right? This root will be root page. The root page here is home page, so this root will be home page always. So this is like a stack architecture. Whatever pages you push into it gets added on to the top. So that's why if we press back button, once the login page comes, it goes back to the home page or the first page where you see the username and password fields. So in order to prevent that, upon login, what I need to do is this .nav.push user page. Here I'll just set root. So this user page will become the root now, and upon logout, instead of pushing, I'll just set it back to home page. Now let's see if it works. Test user, test 1 2 3. See, there is no back button, and this would become the root page. You could have any number of, you could have a tabbed interface here, you could have an interface with a side menu here, you could do whatever styling you need to do inside this page, and this will be the root page from now on, as long as the user is logged in. Once the user logs out, this will be set as the root page, and you can't go back to the that page, the logged in user page. So yeah, that was the purpose of the set root thing in setting the root of the navigator, nav controller. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's the end of part 2. I hope you liked it, and this is how we create a front end to consume the API we created in the backend. Part 3 will ideally focus on how to use this store token, the local storage token, to make a authorized request and get data or get response from the backend and display it on our application. We'll be using we'll be sending out authorized requests from this app for each and every interaction we make with the backend, and hence part 3 will cover that up and finish off this topic, authentication for your Ionic apps completely. Hope it was useful for you guys. So we'll see you again in part 3. Thanks for watching, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Also subscribe to my channel. Yeah, thanks guys. Peace.